자, 안녕하세요. Hello everybody. Yeah. 저는 레이첼인데요. 여기서 한국말로 다 나오시니까 한국말 그렇게 잘 못하니까 오케이, 영어로 할게요. First, I want to say thank you to all of our community members that translated. I don't know. Okay, 박다영, 소도. I don't know. I can't read names that well. So anyway, so thank you. Everybody clap. Woo! Thank you. Yeah. Without them, you can't maybe understand. Well, maybe you can. Okay, so why am I here? I'm here to talk about falling in love. Not in a relationship, but with programming, okay? Before we get started, I just want to try something. We have to practice, okay? So everybody, what? Oh, good, sorry. All right, so this is a clapper. When I do that, you just clap and make a lot of noise, all right? Got it? Good. All right, so I'm with Django girls, and I'm going to talk about falling in love with programming. Here we go. All right, if you look at the screen, you can see old jobs, right? Last year, I saw a talk by Sally Ann Williams, and she talked about programming, computer science plus X, right? And she talked about the future of jobs. But before you talk about the future, you need to talk about the past. So the first point is jobs change. If you look at these, maybe some of you know what job it is, but this is a knocker-upper. The woman on the right, she's blowing into a pole, so a stone or something will knock on the window and wake people up. And here on the left, someone is knocking, yeah, because before alarm clocks, right, you had to wake up. Then the alarm clock came, and I guess they had a new job. Hopefully they had training. So the point is that jobs change. Oops. Let me see. So the jobs of the future. Everyone here has a job, hopefully, or will have a job, but what kind of job will happen in the future, and how do jobs change? Okay, so if you see here, on the right there's factory worker, and on the left it's all automated. It's not just factory workers. Next door, the Goldman Sachs I was talking to him, and he was mentioning that the banks too, the traders, 20% could be automated, and that could save a lot of money, but that means we lose jobs. So in January of this year, the WEF, the World Economic Forum, they had a report. What the report said was that in the next 5 years, 7.1 million jobs would be lost due to disruptive changes like artificial intelligence, smart technology, like smartphones, smart houses, smart farming, and robots, like we see here. Okay? And also, only 2 million jobs will be created. So that's a deficit of 5 million, right? If my math is correct. So one more time, in 5 years, that's happening now. It's not 10 years from now. That could be your job. Watch out, okay? And if this gap keeps going between men and women in the IT companies, in the IT technology field, it's going to affect women more. Why? Because for every 4 jobs that are lost to men, 1 will be created in IT, right? So those 4 add 1. But for women, 20 jobs are lost and only 1 is created to fill the spot. So we need to have more women in IT training, because women right now, there are not a lot in the IT fields. So when the jobs are lost, they won't have a job compared to men, okay? And it's not a big mystery, right? It's not, you can see if you go to any IT or hackathon, yeah. It's like stepping into a parallel universe. You can see the women's bathroom side and the men's, okay? I actually liked it. It's nice for once, but that's a problem, right? It's not natural. And okay, so it's like stepping into a universe, especially when women were the first programmers, right? So what caused this, right? There is a problem. We need to find out why and how we can fix it. Otherwise, it won't be solved in the future. So you can see here is a graph. This is all women majors in each field: medical school, law school, physics, computer science. And the red one is computer science. Had about the same number of women in all the fields, but then suddenly dropped off. Why? Right? It's not that they can't do it. But why? That's what we're here to talk about in the last 3 centuries, right? So why? So what is the gender disparity? Girls and boys have the same ability in all STEM areas, science, technology, engineering, and math, right? But because of stereotypes and low confidence, they have a poor performance. Their ability is the same, but it's their confidence that's different. Okay, so the OECD, they said gender disparities in performance do not stem from innate differences in aptitude, but rather their confidence. And where do they get their confidence from? Right? So, why do we, so also, where do they get confidence from? From stereotypes, right? Women are just not good at math and science, right? They're teachers. Oh, I'm not sure, I don't know. And also negative stereotypes in the media. If you look at any movie or TV show in the last 30 years, the image you have of a programmer is maybe a nerdy guy in a dark room, right, by himself. All right, so yeah, these are all from movies, or this is kind of stereotypes, right? And so one of the problems is, why don't women want to go? They have low confidence. Also, they don't think they can do it is one problem. Also, they don't think they would get along with the people that they work with. Why? Because they think these are the people they will work with. Why do they think that? Because that's in the media. That's what we see all the time. And also they think they can't do it, right? All right. So one of the things that we can, out of the women that get into IT field, there are some women now, but the ones that get in there, a lot of them quit within the first year. Why? They're good, they can do it, but the problems are what? Pay and promotion inequality, the programmer culture. I'm not sure if you know what programmer means, but it's not very welcoming to women. You can Google that later. And also they have marathon coding, right? Late nights, yagan, where, you know, if you are a mother, you have to go home, you can't stay out drinking all night. Okay, next. Okay, so, okay, whoa. Thank you. So let's go back up a little bit. Let's go to also like we're here to talk about Python, right? I don't know how many of you are programmers, or if you're not, don't worry. We're not going to go too deep. But Python is a simple language. If you know Java or anything, you know how long it takes to write just hello world. But here's Python, print hello world, right? That's why we love it. It's simple. And what is Django? Django is a web framework based off of Python, and it's to make an app, a website. It says here, Django is a framework that makes it easier to build web apps. So it's easy, and you need less code. Also why we love it. Python and Django both are awesome, okay? And they're easy to learn for beginners, easier, okay? If you go to the website, they have tutorials too you can follow, Django tutorials. And it's been around 10 years, Django has. So a lot of people have used it. Also, it's time tested. There are a lot of reusable apps. You can download other people's apps. You can make apps to share. And it's open source. Okay. Also, one of the best things about Django is the community. Okay. This is a picture from DjangoCon Europe. I'm in there. If you find me, I'll give you a prize. But the community is really awesome. They try always to make it really fun. I visited DjangoCon in April, and I was blown away by how welcoming they were. They're supportive, they're thoughtful, the organizers and the attendees, every little thing. They welcome diversity. They welcome diversity, and they have a very strict code of conduct, so there's no harassment. It's open source, so they have a lot of contributors. And they have sprints and hackathons together. Mentorship, they have mentorship programs. If on Twitter or on their website, you can actually go there and ask for help if you need help to install something or any questions. And also scholarships for underrepresented groups like women, minorities. I actually got the scholarship to go to DjangoCon Euro. Okay? Also job opportunities within the community. They share and let people know to try to promote them. Right? And the aspect that I really like the most, I guess, is community outreach. And why am I going to talk about that? because one of the groups that they actually outreach to is Django girls. All right, so it's time for a story, short story. This is Ola and Ola, Sendeka and Sitarska. They are the two founders of Django Girls. They did a talk at PyCon last year. I'll just kind of summarize for you, but there was a squirrel. Yeah, squirrel, what? Yeah, okay, you'll get it. Just there was a squirrel that liked science and math growing up. And then when she grew up, she wanted to learn IT, and she wanted to work in IT. But she went into the IT forest, the squirrel went to the forest, and she couldn't find any other squirrels, just badgers. And some were nice to her, but some were mean to her, and she felt really alone. Okay? But eventually she found another squirrel, which was the other Ola. Okay? And so it's not difficult to realize that the story they're talking about is themselves and their adventure into programming and how they got into programming. Instead of squirrels, they were women, okay, in case you didn't catch that. So the two squirrels, they wanted to create a safe space for other squirrels to satisfy their curiosity and eagerness to learn programming. And so Django Girls was born. Okay? So next, we're going to talk about what is Django Girls. Okay? Django Girls is not a group of, like what? Like a Korean dancer performing drums. Okay, sorry. That's cool too, but why? Okay. Django. Everybody say, Django. Oh, thank you. Okay, I'm a former English teacher, so Django is like this. Django is programming language. Okay, so also Django is not somewhere for you to find a girlfriend. Although we are very smart, ambitious, and strong. But what is Django Girls? Django Girls is a nonprofit, volunteer-based organization that wants to bring more women into IT and make technology more approachable, create easy resources and tools for beginners to use so they're not intimidated. And every workshop, they have 30 to 60 women. We had a little more last time that will experience programming for the first time. They do HTML, CSS, Python, Django, and some GitHub thrown in, and they can make a blog in a day and a half. The first time they ever experienced programming. All of the material is open source. So before anyone can ask, why not a Django Boys? I hear it a lot. I say, go ahead, make it. You can download and follow the tutorial. We have it in Korean and English, a lot of languages, okay? And also you can see here, since 2014 was the start, there have been, let's look here, 163 past events, 17,702 applicants, and more than 5,000 attendees. That means more than 5,000 women, for the first time, have studied programming. And then after that, who knows? Maybe they went to a code camp or they got a job in programming. That's just 2 years. All right, so also 63 different countries. And the tutorial is in many different languages. All right, good. So we're going to talk about Django Girls. One rule is to go the extra mile. What does that mean, go the extra mile? That means do more than you have to. Of course, you can have sodas at an event, but we have coffee and muffins brought in, okay? When you make an event, there's an organizer's manual, coach's manual, FAQ, tutorial to follow. So anyone can make an event. You can make one. Sure, Django Girls Busan, or I don't know, maybe another Seoul. The events are organized with thoughtfulness and care to include everyone. It's not excluded. For example, yes. All right, don't fall asleep. I caught you. Yeah. Okay, it keeps people awake. Also, it makes it really fun. Okay, so during you can see here you can see. Look, here's the clap. Ooh, okay. And what do we use the clapper for? It's for when you're doing code or anything in life, really, and it's really difficult, and you hate it, and you think you can never do it. It's not going to work. You want to throw your computer out the window, and then something works, right? And you feel on top of the world. And sometimes when I'm by myself, I'm in the coffee shop going, yeah, I did it. But everyone looks at me like I'm kind of crazy. But when we're doing the workshop, we have clappers. And when someone succeeds in uploading their code online or fixing a bug, we all celebrate together because it's community. When one succeeds, we all succeed. All right? So besides that, we also have medicine, toiletries in the bathroom in case of emergencies. We also, some workshops offer childcare, like I said, catered coffee, different food for vegan or vegetarian as well. We also have a strict code of conduct. I think is very different from other IT meetups, in that there's no discrimination allowed based on a number of things, gender, sexual orientation, disability, physical appearance, size, race, religion. And if there is someone feeling uncomfortable because of these, we have an assigned person to go to, and they can talk to, and we'll address the situation, and we can kick people out. Because it really want to make a safe place. Okay? Woo. Next. Who am I? My story. I waited a little bit, but this is me, kind of. My name's Rachel Calhoun. I went to university and I studied Spanish. And Spanish was very easy for me, so I studied French. French was a little bit harder, but I graduated with a double degree in languages. And then I came to Korea when I graduated and taught English for 6 years. I also studied a little bit of Korean. And after 6 years, I needed a challenge. I needed to change something, and I had to think about my future. I couldn't teach English forever. So I had an interview with a publishing company. They wanted to make all of their books into ebooks. So I interviewed, and I didn't make it, but the lesson I learned was everything will be CS plus X, right? It's a publishing company, but they need someone with IT. They asked me which HTML was, and I had no idea. All right? So that's what I realized, that regardless of what field you go into, you have to know some IT. And that brings me to the next slide. CS plus X. So it's no longer computer science or fashion. It's no longer medicine or computer science. It's no longer computer science or education, right? It's CS plus fashion, CS plus medicine, CS plus education, okay? And Sally Ann Williams had a nice talk about that, as I referred to before. Okay, and so after I realized that, I decided to find a study group, and I found an awesome Python study group to try to become more competitive in the market and get a job later. And that's when we studied everything. We used MOOCs, maybe some of you know, massive open online courses like edX or Coursera. We studied, we had people come in to talk about Pygame, web scraping, Flask, and Django. And that's when Django Girls was born. Okay, so what is Django Girls? In our organizers group, we had 5 people, 2 professional programmers, shout out Hassan Jin, and 2 hobbyists, Sujin and myself, and 1 that was not interested in programming at all, just to help us with logistics and Korean translation and communication, Dayang. Yay, okay. So we had an awesome workshop. It was so awesome that people were emailing us, when's your next event, when's your next event? We didn't expect that. So we didn't really have a plan, but we made a plan. And we made a lot of plans, okay? So you can see this is our timeline. We started in August, and then we translated and prepared the coach's tutorial and training. We had a workshop, and then a little bit later we had an extended workshop. And then after we finished the extended workshop, people want to know more. Okay, I made a blog, but I can't do it again myself. So we went back and studied Python, the basics, and actually to learn what they're doing, not just copy and paste in the tutorial. And after we did Python, we did Django, we did Git, HTML, and CSS, 2 months. After we just practiced that, then we did a project-based code camp for 2 months. And out of the project-based code camp, we had 15 projects. So 15 girls that had never studied programming made their first full-stack website. And you can go to our website and check them out if you'd like. All right? And recently we had our second workshop that was very successful, and we had an extended workshop as well. All right, so out of all of the 163 cities before, it says 161 there, sorry, but 163 cities where Django girls have had workshops, none of them have had the community that we have. They only do a 1-day workshop. Django Girls Seoul, what is Django Girls Seoul? Django Girls Seoul is community. We do workshops, we do movie screenings, we do weekly study meetups, right? We do events and talks like this one. We also do marathons together. So also, we believe in learning by doing. And this is a website we're currently working on with our members. It's for a nonprofit in Peru. It's a community center. And they needed someone to make a website, so I said we would. Why? Because you learn by doing, not by studying. And if you're thinking, why Peru? Why not Korea? Well, if you know a nonprofit, you can let us know, and we'll be glad to help for our next project in Korea. Okay? Shoot for the moon, and maybe you'll hit Mars, right? So our dream is big. We dream to not only just teach girls and inspire them, we want to help them find a job and internships, right? What's next? We're not a year old, but that's our dream. So after they get internship, they can maybe lead to a job placement. I know other Django Girls communities and workshops, they have found jobs because of Django Girls. So if you know any, let us know. All right, we learn by doing, master by teaching. So once you learn, how can you master it? By teaching others. And she's a coach, right? She was an attendee at the first workshop, but now she has turned into a coach. And that's what our community is about. You give and you take, right? You take and you give. And it helps in retain information, boost confidence, and strengthen community. All right, so what can we do? Django Girls, everybody's awesome. So what can we do? Companies in Korea, you need a photo on it. In US, that's illegal. You can't do that, right? In some companies, even just don't show the name. That's one way to do it. Also, equal pay for equal work in any field, not just tech, but women get paid less for their work. We know that, but they do the same work. Also, scholarships. If you have an opportunity to give scholarship or provide, then you should try to get underrepresented groups like women. And also invite women speakers, like here. I know the one before me, she did an awesome speech about women programmers, and here I am too, so thank you I'm a programmer. And mentorship. If you have time, you can visit there's online, you can do remote mentorship too. But also, how can we help Django Girls Seoul? Be a coach. We always need coaches for our events. We just had an event, but we're gonna have more. Sponsorship. If your company has money to give us, or prizes, or supplies, or venue, we need that too. After we have trained the girls, we need internships, job, and networking, if you know. Also, I know you studied English. Almost everybody in Korea does. We need help translating the tutorial and keep maintaining it. It takes a long time. It's a lot of work. Okay? And also, right now, our biggest kind of goal is follow through. Here's our GitHub. You can go check it out. We have all our curriculum online. We want to make it longer, not just one workshop. We want to make it 6 months study plan, and we need your help. Django Girls, they think that Django Girls Seoul is awesome, and they want our plan to go on in other cities. So help us. All right? So I just want to say thank you for listening, and I hope you will all be inspired to support and strengthen our community and help us inspire other women to fall in love with programming. Thank you.